enjoyed it.
Morning. Welcome to the annual Golden Gate's annual Super Bowl pregame show, sponsored entirely by the great God Almighty. Please take this opportunity to turn off any electronic gizmos that you may have in your possession that may interrupt the sacred space that we are going to create here today. And then say hi to somebody, especially if you don't know them. We here at the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, we honor you wherever you are on your spiritual path, knowing indeed that there are infinite paths to, but only one God. The words to the morning chant will be up here on the screen, followed by a spiritual mind treatment by our own Francine Huss.
Flowing and growing, river she is flowing down to the sea. Mother, carry me, child, I will always be. Mother, carry me down to the sea. River she is flowing, flowing and growing. River she is flowing down to the sea. Mother, carry me, your child I will always be. Mother, carry me down to the sea. River she is flowing, flowing and growing. River she is flowing down to the sea. Mother, carry me, your child I will always be. Mother, carry me down to the sea, down to the sea, down to the sea, down to the sea. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. Beautiful, one more time. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed,
Yesterday at a memorial, the prayer began with, God is so cool. And so taking in that maybe new idea of that which is indescribable, that which is infinite, that one life includes all, that one life is all there is and absent nowhere, that one life expresses in and through all creation, responds to its creation, and expresses more into this life, bringing forth more of its life. It brings through in so many amazing and cool ways, including me and including each person here. We are all the expression of spirit. We are all its magnificence, its miracle. And so even now, we are already all that we ever came to be right here, whole, perfect, and complete. And yet, as we open this morning, open our minds and open our hearts, and welcome this day, welcome the music, welcome the sunshine, welcome each other, welcome all that has brought us here and made this possible, we may open to some greater understanding. And as we are so blessed by our wonderful speaker here this morning, Maggie Cole, fine practitioner, I speak this word that we are one with Maggie, that she is the expression of God. She is the epitome of cool, as I know her to be. And that as she brings us new thoughts, new ideas, which expands us, and I know she also brings us eternal truths that we may understand in a new way, we may see in a new light, that she is perfectly guided and we are perfectly shifted into something bright and shiny new. So I give thanks for what is already so. I give thanks for that which is revealed, that which is healed, that which is enlightened, that which brings us into a greater understanding of our oneness with each other and with Spirit through us. I give thanks. I give thanks. And I release this back to that inspiration, back to that perfection. It is so. It is cool. And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so
And so I have the wonderful privilege of welcoming and giving thanks in advance for our musicians today. Not to overuse the word, but it's so perfect, the epitome of cool. Bodie and Scott Grace. Thank you.
Now, I wrote this for my daughter's 9th birthday and realized that with a few tweaks, it could be a song from the Creator to all of us. And so I tinkered with it, and now it's for all of us. I have known and loved you since before you were born. We've got this deep and sweet, delicious, inseparable bond. In case you need reminding, I've wrote you a song that begins with a question. You don't have to respond. Do you know how lovable and lovely you are? How precious and worthy you are. If you ever doubt it, borrow my eyes. You will see your majesty in all its supply. I placed my eyes inside your mind, so if you ever needed help, you could see yourself more clearly without one review on Yelp. Your accomplishments or failures never change the way I feel. My love for you's forever unconditional and real. I want you to drop in to see you with my eyes, to see without your judgments or your social disguise. You might have PTSD or ADHD, but in my heart of hearts, you'll always be label free. There's one diagnosis that's important to me, and it's that you remember this truth that sets you free. Do you know how lovable and lovely you are? Do you sense how worthy you are? If you ever doubt it, take a look through my eyes. You will see your worthiness in all its supply. Through day or night, you shine as bright as any twinkling star. You are filled with love and radiant light. I made you to be who you are. And yes, that is the deepest truth about everyone. But many grow old and let the clouds block their sun. But the fog burns away when you know we are one. And guilt and fear, they disappear and are replaced by fun. Now you know how lovable and precious you are. How loved and lovely you are. If you ever doubt it, borrow my eyes. You will see your loveliness all its supply. Like a cake in the oven, your self-loving will rise. You will see your loveliness in all its supply. Thank you. Thank you both.
We're so blessed by our musicians, always. I want to start by acknowledging Gaelen and Mark Cooper's altar. Big applause for that. And the theme is, what you're waiting for is, and are there missed opportunities, and about seizing the day. And I was trying to pin Mark down on a greater explanation, and he said, it's open for your own interpretation. So you get to come up and check it out for yourself. So I want to welcome everybody here. We're so glad you're here. We're blessed by your presence. And would the welcome team come forward? They're there. Oh, all right. Well, okay. Hiding behind the pole over there. So if you're here for the first time, if you will just raise your hand, we have a special gift for you, a wonderful little book called What's Science of Mind, Religious Science Teaches. And it's a wonderful book. And so if you are here for the first time, if you raise your hand, there's a blue card in the packet. And if you fill it out, we'll give you the card, the book. So, oh, good. There we go. Back there in the back we have. Wonderful. And we'll also send you some announcements of what's going on in the future. Our theme for this year is 100 Years of Science of Mind, and this New Year-long theme is Living the Science of Mind, and the theme for February is Self-Awareness Brings Spiritual Well-Being. And by the way, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Reverend Sarah Hargrave, staff minister here at this wonderful community. For those who are new to this community, you may have heard the saying, change your thinking, change your life. That's a statement that was made by the founder of this philosophy, Ernest Holmes. And he said, religious science is the correlation of the laws of science, the opinions of philosophy, and the revelations of religion applied to human needs and aspirations. And our theme for today is, what are you waiting for? So our speaker today is Maggie Cole, and she's a practitioner at the Santa Rosa Center for Spiritual Living. I understand she's been a practitioner for 18 years. I had not met Maggie before today, but I was told, I told her I was looking forward to meeting her because I'd heard a lot of the practitioners talk about the retreat she'd done for them and talk about how wonderful she was. In fact, I'd ask about Maggie Cole, and they'd all get kind of dreamy-eyed and say, she's so wonderful. So Maggie told me she did not want a regular bio-type introduction, so I'll just tell you what the practitioners have said, that she is the real thing. She's compassionate, open, humorous, and loving, as well as highly creative and downright smart. And she has challenges that have deepened her faith, her spiritual strength, and her integrity. Please join me in welcoming Maggie Cole.
I love this little book. I'm not here for the first time, but I'd love to have one. Hi, kids. How are you? I was thinking I'd have a lot of room to walk, but I guess not. This is a gift to me, and thank you, Reverend Karyl, for having me here. But I'm going to speak first about Reverend Mary. The last day that she was at the Church of Religious Science in Santa Rosa, she said, I want to leave you with one thing. And she said, God is real. And I've never forgotten that. And I didn't know God at the time when she said that. But in the last 30 years, I have come to know it. And you were right. It's real. The other tale I want to tell about Mary is we were having church at the Masonic Center, I believe. We had 2 services. And then we got to the Luther Burbank Center, huge place. So they decided just to have 1 service, which began at 10 o'clock in the morning. And for some of you who don't know, there's a football game on at 10 o'clock in the morning. And the Niners happened to be on that day, and I was a rabid fan. And I was a little late for some reason, hanging out in the lobby. Must have been an extrovert in those days. And I came in, and Mary was on the platform, and she said, "Oh my God, Maggie Cole's here," and there's a football game on. So I was outed in front of 500 or 600 people that day. So she said this morning, "Do you realize it's the day of the Super Bowl?" And I realized it about a week ago. Things have changed. So I'm not as addicted to it as I used to be. I have other things in my life, like this. And even my friends were surprised that I chose church instead of football. So thank you for being here and igniting all those memories in me. Self-awareness. Karyl's topic is bring spiritual well-being. The actual topic on the website is spiritual awareness is not enough. And she changed it, and I'm going to change it again to say spiritual awareness promotes spiritual evolution. I don't know that awareness brings us spiritual well-being. It just depends on what we're aware of. Ernest Holmes, Michael Beckwith said one time, he said, "You've heard the term practice makes perfect. What are you practicing?" Yeah. So this is an Ernest Holmes quote. "There is an incessant urge back of everything to express life, come to gratification of happiness, peace, joy, and self-expression." And I would add to this quote, creativity. One of the other things that Mary used to say is the gospel according to Mary Murray Shelton. She would speak of Ernest Holmes, and then she would say, "This is the gospel according to Mary Shelton. Today you're going to hear the gospel according to Maggie Cole." Another Ernest Holmes quote, "The real self is God-given and cannot be denied." I believe that the real self, my sacred self, my divine self, my light of the world self, cannot be denied, and yet how many times have I denied it? Even this morning, Posey caught me denying it, ever so slightly. So it can be denied. It says it cannot, and of course I cannot change it, but I have certainly found myself denying it. I don't know if any of you have had that same thing, or if you're all so enlightened that you don't even need this talk. One more quote by Ernest Holmes. "So far as I'm concerned, nothing can exist to me unless I am aware of it. Nothing can exist to me unless I'm aware of it. While I believe in others' revelations, I am sure only of my own." So this leads me to, what am I aware of? And is it enough? And does it bring me spiritual well-being? There's a story that I want to tell about Reverend Karyl years ago. Well, this has to do with Mary too. We had a huge workshop weekend called the Spirit of the Rose Festival. This is about 28 years ago. Greg Tallman was our music director, and he certainly had a vision for the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa that was grand and glorious, and I fell in love with this man actually before I met him. And so we put on this big 4-day event, and I had dancers at the time. They were magnificent, by the way. And so we had concerts and workshops and stuff like this, and Karyl was doing a workshop. And I don't remember the title of the workshop, but I went, and she was talking about acceptance. And I was going through a lot of guilt and shame around my son being burned years ago. And I remember sharing in the class that I was willing to acknowledge that this has happened, but I would not accept it, because accepting it means that it was real, and just I needed a bus to run over me because that was too intense to carry, that I can accept that this happened. So in Karyl's fashion, after the workshop was over, she comes up to me and she takes my hands and she looks me in the eye and she says, "Honey," she says, "unless you accept that this has happened, there will be no movement in your life." And by movement, I think she meant healing. And I went, well, this woman's nuts. You know, she is nuts. I mean, how am I supposed to go from here to here and have nothing to take me there? I was young in Science of Mind. I was very young. And I came in burdened to the hilt, to put it mildly. So I remember it was weeks later, maybe even months later, and I was in the lobby. Maybe it was the same day I came in late. And I told Karyl, I said, I don't know what had happened. I had a revelation. Somebody prayed for me. Who knows? God is generosity. I finally let some of it in. And I said, you know, you're right. And she was very happy for me. And that point of acceptance, to be aware of that point of acceptance, opened up a lot of possibilities in terms of my spiritual evolution. And not just my spiritual evolution, but my evolution as a human being, my evolution as Maggie Cole, for God's sake. That's my new name. So being aware of my limitation and being aware of my release from that limitation, those are two different sets of awareness. I have seen people be aware that they are not aware. Do you know what I'm saying? I have met people that, there was a woman that had a table up at church this last month advertising my Power of Inquiry class. And there was a woman who came up and she was talking to me about how generous and loving and how much in service she was to her community. And in the midst of this, I heard judgment after judgment after judgment after judgment, after anger, after resentment, and I thought, and she's just talking. We're not having a conversation. She's just talking, and I'm thinking, look at what she's aware of, and look at what she is not aware of, because she's saying this, and she's talking this. So awareness is certainly not enough, and the big self-awareness, is what brings us home. Again and again and again. So who are we? What do we want to be self-aware of? You hear this, we hear this every time we go to church, every time we're in a meeting, we hear what is called the spiritual mind treatment. Spiritual mind treatment, they talk about it as a tool sometimes, but I will tell you that engaged in it, there is a peace, a fulfillment, a truth, a saving grace, to be immersed in the feeling that God is I am. Everything that is said about God and saying that I am this thing, as well as everybody here, this promotion of oneness, this promotion of fulfillment. There is nothing that happens before it, and there's nothing that happens after it. It is complete. It covers all the territory. God is, I am, we are one. I was with my son the other night. I'm sure you'll enjoy this story, Mary. And he usually gets up about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but that day he'd gotten up early, and he'd been up a long time when I got there. And so we were watching a movie, he fell asleep. And I was aware that he fell asleep because he was snoring. And I put my, he has a great TV. And we kind of lay on his bed and watch TV. He has an interesting home. And I put my hand on his chest, and just the rumble of his snoring and just feeling that, it was so special and intimate to me. And then I was laying there and I put my hand on his arm, and I thought, what is it? What's going on here? And I thought, this is complete fulfillment. This complete sense of no past, no future, being in the moment, loving my son loving me. And I thought, this is the feeling that I have when I'm in prayer. So I have 2 pieces of evidence that show me that being in the present, being aware of the presence and aware of nothing else, is a sense of fulfillment. It's life itself. So I highly recommend it. So what does this have to do with waiting? I came up with this idea a couple of years ago because somebody said, what are you waiting for? Permission? I remember Greg Tallman told me, he said, don't ever ask permission, just do it and apologize. So we did a lot. And I don't know how many times we apologized, but it was fun. What am I waiting for? And I started to make a list of things that people wait for. And this afternoon at the workshop, you will see this list, and hopefully you will add to it. And I thought, isn't it amazing that we're waiting for all these things? We have been taught to wait. Remember when you were little? Honey, wait. Just wait. And then somebody invented lines, and you had to wait in line. And then you're on the phone, you have to wait. And then there's that inner waiting of, I want to be, I want to know, I want to realize, I want to have this activity. There's the other thing about waiting for someone to change. Anybody? I'm the only one. Well, I tried it for years. I was really the poster child for waiting for someone to change. And so I did. And it has been a blessing to me to learn the possibility of changing. One of the things that I hold dear is what I call, and the practitioners in the room may know this as a result of our retreats, which I loved, by the way, is I have an ace in the hole. The ace in the hole is that I am the light of the world, and God knows it. That I'm a reflection and emanation of this presence. That all that God is and all that I am is threaded together in such a beautiful way. When I remember this is my ace in the hole. Now, I know there's things that happen that are not pleasant. In the past 5 years, I've had a heart attack, a concussion, was in a really bad wreck, had a horrible breakup, had a huge debacle at my church, all of that in the last 5 years. And here I am, speaking to you in Corte, Madera, with my mouth working. So when all that's happening, there was a sense of victimhood. Anybody know about victimhood? Again, it's just me and Mary. Okay, good. If you haven't tried it, don't. It's not fun at all. When in the midst of pain and triggers and diversion and skipping off the path and think that, God's somewhere else, the realization of the presence of God, this is my favorite Ernest Holmes quote, the realization of the presence of God is the most powerful healing agency known to the mind of man. the realization of the presence of God. What I get from this is that I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be good. I don't have to practice. I don't have to show up. I don't have to think any thought. The realization of the presence of God. So realizing in a moment that God is here and I'm one with it and everybody else is one with it. There's a lovely thing about that. There's no past, there's no future, there's no waiting. I decided that the only thing I wanted to wait on was God, the Lord. Wait on the Lord. Ricky Byers' song. Trust in it. Have faith in it. Because when I wait on the Lord, when I tap into my mystical, intuitive nature, which guides me every step of the way, if you're not familiar with your intuition, I highly encourage, in fact, I almost demand it, because it will set you free like nothing else. Again, we're going to talk about this in the workshop this afternoon. That's my ace in the hole. My sister asked me one time when I told her this little phrase. She said, "When do you play your ace card?" And I went, I never thought of that. But I played that card 1,000,000 times, especially this last year, when I wasn't sleeping, when I was in a lot of pain. And I gave a talk in Santa Cruz, actually the week or the month before I had the wreck. And I said, I have pulled my leg over from victimhood. And when the wreck happened, I said, I refuse to go there again. I refuse to go there again. It wasn't that I wasn't miserable. It wasn't that I was unhappy. It wasn't that I didn't have all that going on. But in the midst of it, I thought, I am not a victim to this. There's something here for me. My beloved prayer partner, Michael Gott, said to me, we were talking one day, and I said, in the midst of this, I feel so blessed, because a lot of people were helping me out. It was a good exercise in receiving. And he said, none of this diminishes you. And he said, the next time you want to learn a lesson, read a book or go to a workshop. So I'm encouraging you to come to the workshop so you don't have to get in a car wreck to learn how much you're loved and learn how to receive. I appreciate that. So, one more thing. Somehow I always thought there was an arrival point. I'm going to get to it, because I was in competition with all the people that had already gotten to it. You know, many of you practitioners that I looked at and admired and respected for so long. Someday I'll be like them. I never have become Edward or Mary or Michael Beckwith or anybody. I have come into my own. And I am loving her more and more and more. And I talked about the mountaintop consciousness. And my beloved therapist, Lisa, God bless her, I don't know what I would have done without her these last years. She said, I want you to consider making yourself at home anywhere on the mountain. In the cracks and crevices, in the valleys, at the top, because it isn't where you are, it's where you are. So with that, let us pray. How lovely it is to realize and recognize that God is here now, in all of its boundless magnificence and all of its glory, its presence, its energy, its aliveness. All that it is, all that has ever been attributed to it. The power of its peace, the breadth of its love. the deep wellspring of its joy and enthusiasm. It's all here now. It is always operating. It is always available. It is who and what I am. I am what thou art, and thou art what I am. All that God is, I am. I am an emanation of it. I'm an expression of it. Before I entered my mother's womb, God had an idea of me. And this is true of me, and this is true for everyone here, for all beings everywhere. This is taking place no matter the appearance, no matter the opinion. God is, we are one. Can never be interfered with, can never be diminished, no matter what has happened with any of us. This is true and is always taking place. So I bask in this realization of the oneness with God that we are. And I accept for each one of us that we open up and make ourselves available to the presence of God and all of its love and all of its givingness, all of its grace. To open ourselves up to receive it, to be it, to shine it, to glow with it, to make room for it, to expand and to explode with its nature and being. And in this we are free. Ernest Holmes says, freedom is our birthright, the birthright of every living soul. I claim this for all of us, the freedom to express who and what we are, our innate gifts, our acquired skills, the beauty of who we are. I accept that this is done, and so in the mind of God, this is already taking place. We are already infused with all that God is. So let us celebrate it. And for this truth, and for this celebration, and for this opening, and for the demonstration of this prayer, I am so grateful. And it's in this gratitude that I release it into the law, realizing it is done before it is even uttered. I let this be, and together we say, and so it is. Amen.
So it is my privilege and honor to share my gift of being able to take the talk and turn it into a song. Life is a musical Broadway comedy. Maggie Cole has stirred my soul this Super Bowl Sunday. With her precious vulnerability, you've passed some strength my way. It helped to ask myself, what am I waiting for? When the universe is filled with green lights and always open doors. Today, Maggie, she shared her ace in the hole. That God is here, there's nothing to fear, and we are just souls. And in the midst of challenges, I know that God is good. I refuse to choose that old game, victimhood. On Super Bowl Sunday, let me be a wider receiver. Let me see and feel God's grace and be a truer believer. Let's do that one again. On Super Bowl Sunday, let me be a wider receiver to know that I'm a true believer, that life is my friend and I don't need to be a tight end. All is well. I want you to know that I make up songs professionally for bar mitzvahs and for weddings and for birthdays and for any special occasion when there's somebody that you love and you want to touch them deeply. So come see me. I have a table with cards.
Who's missing? Oh. Okay. I'll be on. What are we waiting for?
What? Yes, it's my name. Means God's love. So the most important thing to me that I'm learning in many ways is how important it is to have connection. And this community provides connection. Whether it's be on Sunday service, whether it's a prayer partner, whether it's an event or a workshop, take an opportunity to be with others who have similar beliefs and that will help to lift you up. So would the ushers please come forward. And place your gifts on your heart or your pledge cards on your heart or what you know is your gift to this community. And let's just know that blessing is there, and we'll put that in the offering basket. So please collect the offering.
I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory, I am. In the light, in the love, and the glory. Light and love, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. I am. In the love and the God created
in the
me.
Light, in the love and the glory.
In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, and the love, and the glory. In the light, and the love, and the glory, I am. In the light, and the love, and the glory. In the light, and the love, and the glory. In the light, and the love, and the glory, I am. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. in the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory, I am. One more time. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory, I am. You are, we are.
You are, I am, you. We. So let's repeat this wonderful offering blessing. This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it's creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And so it is. All right.
We're really grateful for all those who made the service possible today, for setup, Jim, sound, Jim, video, Ron, streaming, Tom, PowerPoint, Reverend Mary, practitioners, the altar, the Coopers, and the music, Bodie and Scott. And Scott I'm always amazed by what he can come up with in such a short amount of time. It's an amazing thing. And we're grateful to everybody who's brought healthy snacks for the Sunday team lead, which is Paula Yu this week. And Maggie, we thank you so much for being with us and sharing your wisdom. And today she's doing a workshop, What Are You Waiting For?, from 12:30 to 2:30 at the Learning Center. So come to this fabulous workshop, and it's delivered by a master facilitator, so you won't be disappointed. There's a new 4-week class, More Topics in Prosperity with Reverend Karyl, and that's backed by popular demand. And so she'll be offering this new topics about money. And it's a 4 weeks long and supports your shift in your ideas of prosperity. This week is also the Extra Edge, which is my monthly conversation, coffee and conversation at Il Fornaio. And it's about applying spirituality in your everyday life and in your work. Some people think it's just about work, but it's about your everyday life. And the topic this month, well, I always like in February to talk about love. So the topic this month is your true love, and it's not about a person, it's about what's your heart's desire. And we know that wherever the power flows to and increases whatever is you're putting your attention to. So the question we'll be discovering and discussing is, what would you love to have more of in your life? And are you romancing what you love or just flirting with it? So join me from 8 to 9:30 at Il Fornaio, and you'll pick up whatever you need from the carry-out area and come to the table and talk. Partnership Sunday, Reverend Barbara is not here, but we want to remind you that we are supporting our sister community in Ukraine financially and with prayer. And we're also supporting enhanced experience of life by means of our philosophy that's going all the way around the world. Quick Start, Merrill and Letzos will be offering a streamlined new version of this introductory course on February 25th, and it's a basic entry-level course. There's also a creative crafts circle, and this started out as a knitting circle, but it's re-emerging as a crafting circle, a creative crafting circle, so you can bring any handcraft on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. at the Learning Center. And there's some member festivities coming up. Did you want to say something about that, Catherine? Okay.
Thank you. Very quickly, membership is really making a commitment and investment in yourself to become married to this community and to each other. If you've been coming to Golden Gate for a long time, we love you, but you're still kind of a friend. Become part of the family. become a member. And we have a membership table in the back, and we'll be doing this for a while. We have people who'll be staffing that, so ask questions. What does it mean to be a member? And what's the difference between just coming and then being part of the family? Well, come find out. We're going to be having a membership enrollment period. In March, we're going to be taking in new members, and it's a whole new ball game. And it is really investing in yourself and investing in this community in ways that are all about connection, oneness, and a deepening of yourself, I guess, as a spiritual human being and as someone who cares. So think about it. Come visit us. Come talk to us. Thanks.
Thanks. Next week, there's a Valentine's Day rite, and there'll be something for everybody. It's committed couples, individuals seeking their soulmates, and all others who support love. And so if you desire, take part in this wonderful ceremony and ritual that will be inclusive for everyone. And then if you want to join Karyl for her sacred journey to France, now's the time for booking, and you can contact Reverend Karyl or sign up at the back. And if you're interested, she'll tell you more. And of course, as always, if you have a need for prayer today, our wonderful practitioners are here and ready to support you in your greater expression of God and remembering the truth about yourself and your situation. So if the practitioners would surround the room. And if you will stand for the affirmation and the closing song. So join me in the affirmation. Today I emerge and see all God created me to be. I shine my light and my divinity is revealed. I embrace the truth of who I truly am. Here and now I see myself as others as God sees.
Everything I need to know about what lies before me. Everything I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything I need to do about what lies before me. Everything I need to do about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me through the mind of God within me.